Good day. Welcome back to my channel. Last episode, I gave you a tutorial on how to make a good research title. I hope that with that simple tips, you will be guided with your research, particularly those who are taking Practical Research 2 in the Senior High School department. For today's episode, I would be talking about how to make a good research rationale. So this is a book entitled The Effective Principle. So if you're a bookworm like me, so what make me interested with this book? Simple. I would read few pages of the book, and if the first few pages, like the first 2 pages, would make me interested to finish the book, then simply I would be reading this book for the entire night. So the same also with research. If your research rationale is very interesting, then it would make your readers finish your research. Okay? So from the introduction to the recommendation. So the question now is, what is a research rationale? Simple or simply, research rationale is the reason for conducting the study. And it answers the question why there is a need for conducting a study. So as a research teacher, I usually demand 2 to 3 pages rationale. 1 would be okay, but the problem now here is 1 page enough to capture what is happening in the society in relation to your research. Sir, 4 and above pages, would it be okay? Perhaps. But personally, as a teacher and as a researcher, I am not using or I'm not subscribing to the more than 3-page research rationale. Why? Because it would make your research boring. So stick to the 2 to 3 pages only. So what is the content of your research rationale? What are the specific content of your research rationale? First is the first 2 paragraphs, paragraph 1 and paragraph 2, would present or narrate the reasons for conducting the study. So what is your observation with regards to your proposed research or to your research? So there is a trend now about localization. In other words, what is happening in the society, in your immediate society with regards to the topic? And after that, makes it international. What is happening outside the Philippines or in other parts of the world? Okay, so please don't forget to localize your study. So the third paragraph would talk about or would present what has been done in the topic. So what is found here are the words or the opinions or the observation outputs of researchers whose research more or less is related to your study. So you have to do review of related literature and present the summary of those studies that you are using. So there's nothing wrong with using the result or say writing or including in your research the result of the studies of previous researchers. Yes, there's nothing wrong with that, as long as you are able to give proper citation. So proper citation is writing the name of the author and the year it was published. Okay? So my dear students, get away with plagiarism. So plagiarism is copying the results of other people or other experts without properly identifying or acknowledging the author. Okay? So simply write the name. There's nothing wrong. Let's say Palaka 2018 mentioned that stress management is very important when one is conducting a study. It's as simple as that. 4 to 5 or 4 to 6, depending on your discussion, is the discussion about what is missing of those previous studies that you cited in relation to your topic. Like for instance, Dr. A mentioned about like this. Then Professor B enumerated the possible reasons for stress. Then expert C mentioned about what can be done. But because you are localizing your study, what is missing of the study, or what are the gaps that are not being mentioned by the literature you cited in your preceding or in the paragraphs that you cited above? Okay, so in your second and third paragraph or fourth paragraph, you mentioned about the works of other experts. But because you are localizing your study, what are the missing parts, or what are the gaps? Okay, so why there is a need to present the gaps? Because this is where your study would enter. How would you address, or how will your research address the missing gaps? Okay, that is very simple. The last part of the rationale is simply the projection of your research hypothesis. Okay, so as a researcher, you have to decide what would be the possible outcome of the study. Why there is a need for this study to be conducted? Because you believe that your study would be able to come up with this result. That's why you have to project in the second to the last part of your rationale, you have to project the hypothesis. And then the last part would be you have to reiterate the need to conduct the study. So in other words, you would be presenting the general objective of the study. I'll give you an example on how to make a research rationale by using stem strand. So the title here is Glutamate powder as a cake color enhancer. So why there is a need to conduct this study? So simply you would explain that people nowadays are very health conscious and that they are going back to the natural sources of food, that your lifestyle is now into healthy ways of life. Then you would also explain or present in your rationale that glutamate is available in the community, in the local community, and that people are using it as additive for their salad, using it in cooking rice, using it as infusion of the water. So you can provide an alternative use of glutamate. And then also, you have to present that the government is encouraging people to promote local food products as an economic way of earning money out of this product. And you would also mention about the economical and the practical sides of using glutamate powder as an additive for making cake with regards to coloring. Like people would no longer buy the synthetic coloring in the market, thereby promoting good health, and that on the practical side, so in the absence of those artificial coloring, they can create their own coloring out of the products of your backyard. Okay, as simple as that. Then the next one is example in the mathematics area. Cultural games as an alternative activities in teaching basic numerical skills. So basic numerical skills here, I am referring to addition, subtraction, division, and multiplication. So in your rationale, you would mention about in the past, kids are exposed to these cultural games, and actually on the process of playing these games, they are being taught how to do addition and subtractions and other skills. But what happened now is kids are no longer playing these games, and the sad fact is they are now forgotten by the new generation. So the research would provide an opportunity to document those cultural games that are actually teaching basic numerical skills And it could help the teachers because with this research, you are able to influence the use of these games in teaching mathematics, in the same time developing appreciation to our culture. Because, my dear students, a sad reality is happening nowadays. Kids are very exposed to the Western games, the internet-based games, and they are losing their socialization skills. So with these cultural games, we are teaching them the basic numerical skills, in the same time enhancing the social skills of our students. So as simple as that. So are you now familiar with the simple tips on how to make a research rationale? I hope so. So once again, this is Dr. Legardopalacajr Jr. I would like to say that if you want to know more about research, and if you want to know more about the latest updates of my vlog, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. Good day.